Well, good morning. It's good to be with you on yet another chilly yet beautiful day. I mean, this stretch of weather that we're having is nice in terms of, got some sunshine that we can enjoy, but there's a price to pay, apparently. That is cold temperatures. But welcome into a Tuesday edition of Breakfast with Jesus. I'm really glad to be with you this morning as we continue our journey through wherever he's leading us. How about that, right? He knows what he's doing. Yeah, sometimes we have to stop and remember that, right? My goodness. But no, it's been good. And I'm excited about where we're headed for the next season, the next uh, time of development that he has us in. And I'm glad to be doing it with you. How about that? So good morning. Good morning to Jane and Jackie and Joanne. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much. Jack, good morning. Good afternoon, Ted. Um, Jane and Linda and Joanne. Okay, I said you. I don't know why it does that. You guys post and then all of a sudden it's saying that you're watching, but that's Facebook for you. You can't ever figure it out. It's just it just is what it is. So we've been talking quite a bit now over these past couple of weeks about the mind renewal process that the Lord has for us, and it's something that he's super committed to, something that's so important to him, and we we get to either cooperate and watch it happen, at his pace, or we slow it down. And, I thank God for the grace of God. All you can say is, Lord, thank you for your grace. He obviously wants us all to grow and develop quickly because then that's when the real fun is. I'm telling you, the real fun in this Christian life is when we are hitting on all cylinders as sons and daughters of God, just out there doing what he created us to do, because we know who we are and what we've been created for. And, it's the drama stuff just kind of fades away, as we get more and more transformed into the image of Christ. I mean, look, just read the gospel sometimes and take note of all the drama that happened around him as he just simply walked around doing his thing. And yet it never fazed him. I mean, the worst, um, I guess, demonstration of his frustration or anger was directed on occasion to the Pharisees and even to his own disciples. He would, have moments of frustration over their thick-headedness. So I don't know. I just like being able to look at his example and realizing that's what Papa has in mind for me and for you too. So, so yesterday we were looking at Isaiah 55, where the Lord gives us this beautiful picture of his the contrast between his thoughts and our thoughts, his ways and our ways, and how he says that my word's not going to return to me without accomplishing what I sent it forth to do. And that's the truth. His word is his word, and what he says, is what he wants, and it's going to happen. And there is a rather sobering aspect of it, which is if he doesn't get what he wants done through me, well, he'll find somebody else. It's just that simple. You know, it's not that it's not going to affect how he loves us. I mean, he'll love you and I the same no matter what, because it's not all, our relationship with him now is not based on our performance. Can I get an amen? All right. But he wants us to, I'm not sure I want to use the word perform, but he wants us to live in such a way that it's consistent with our true new nature. And so He cares about that. That's why you cannot equate grace with doing your own thing and living in sin. It just because God doesn't, get angry and punish us and reject us when we mess up doesn't mean he's okay with our stupidity. Right? I think, I guess we got to occasionally remind ourselves of that, because there are people out there that think that, oh well, I can do what I want because I know God will forgive me and he'll love me no matter what. Well, yeah, he will. But if you haven't figured it out by now, your our stupid choices, they're not helpful. They don't do anything good for us or for the people who we affect by those stupid choices. There you go. So, whew, man, I just seem to get on these mini little things here at in the beginning. I don't know. I hope it's the Lord. But but the point I'm making, right, is that we're the ones that determine the extent, the speed, the depth of this process of renewal and transformation that we're experiencing. It's my responsibility, it's yours, because we either cooperate with him or we don't. And one of the areas where all of us struggle, okay, and I've mentioned this before, but I'm going to dive into this a little bit more today, is in the area of what we believe to be our needs and our wants. We all have them, right? We all have needs in our life. We all have things that we really, really, really want. And in this walk with him, we're constantly faced with, okay, who's going to be the one that decides? Who is going to be the one that chooses to fulfill this need that I have? Is it going to be me or is it going to be him? You know, and not in the sense of, is he going to choose to meet it? He's already chosen that. He's already chosen to meet every single need that we could ever possibly have. We looked at that verse, 2 Peter chapter 1. We looked at that a few days ago, that his divine power has, past tense, already granted to us everything pertaining to life and godliness. So that's a done deal, right? He knew what we would need before we did. And he said, here you go. I'm going to provide it for you so that you've got it from the get-go. Never have to worry about it, right? But we have to learn. And in our learning process, we still face this pull of, I have this need. I need this. Or I want this. Okay? Part of the human experience. And the interesting thing about these needs and desires that we have, right? They are part of our being as humans, yet we don't have to be controlled by them. And so I want to just kind of share with you some research that was done many years ago by a psychologist by the name of Abraham Maslow. Not a Christian. I think he was Jewish, but not sure he was even practicing as a Jew. But he came up with this rather unique way of looking at the needs that we have as human beings, and he put them in the form of a graphic, which looks like this. So this is what's known as the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and starts at the bottom, and the bottom is simply all of the physical needs that I have for food, for air, water, comfort, shelter, all of that, right? Safety, that would move into the shelter end of it, to feel safe and secure, right? To then go, have this need for love and for belonging, which then is on top of that is the esteem thing, where I really need to feel good about myself and who I am. To finally, his top of his pyramid here is really this thing called self-actualization. And what that's talking about is how every one of us at some point in time wants to know that we matter, that we have significance, okay, that there is a purpose for our lives. But here's the problem. Um, all of these things that he identified as needs in our lives, starting with the most basic physiological needs there. For us as Christians, when we surrender our lives to the Lord, right, we are in effect saying, okay, I have all this, Lord. This is all that I feel that I need and that I want. But I'm giving you control. I'm giving you the right to be my source. Okay. That this pyramid here applies to people who are not living in relationship with the Lord. And so that posture, that place of not knowing God means I'm the one that has to meet those physiological, those safety and security needs, my need for love and belonging, my need to feel good about myself, my need to feel that I have a significant place, significant part to play in this world. That's the difference. And when we become a Christian, we still operate out of that mindset because that's the world's mindset. That's the mindset that we acquire or that we actually were born into when we were born physically. We have this idea that I'm responsible for all of that. And I've got to somehow figure out how to meet all of these needs. Now, obviously, there are things that we are responsible for. God's not going to do everything, right? We talk a lot about partnership with him. But the key to understanding the difference for us is that those needs that we see there, he's already promised that he's providing for those needs. He's already promised. Look, we looked at Matthew 6 the other day, where Jesus just rolls out this long teaching on how Father God knows what you need. He knows you need food. He knows you need clothing and shelter. And he's already committed himself to meeting that need, right? So if we can shift into a mindset that accepts his role in meeting our needs and even some of our wants. I'm going to say some of our wants because some of the things that we want are not the best. Let's be real. But if we can accept that, if we can believe that as our Heavenly Father, he is fully and totally committed to meeting our real needs and our real wants. You know what that does? Well, that sets me free because now I can walk in the reality of his love for me, of his provision for my life, which is already in place. I'm not having to convince him or persuade him or somehow make a deal with God, that he would do something that I feel like I need. I can operate out of a place where I just know that that's the truth, where I'm like, yeah, he's a good daddy. I don't have to cajole him or try to get on his good side so he'll do something for me. I'm already on his good side because Jesus is, and Jesus lives in me, and that's the same for you. So we can come into this place where I don't have to do what I would have maybe ordinarily done or used to do to try to meet my needs. Folks that are out, there, and they're trying to deal with the stress in their life through various chemical means or adult beverages, or looking for love in all the wrong places, whatever kinds of things that we would ordinarily do as humans. Well, those things can now be taken off the table, and I don't have to engage in behaviors that are not beneficial to me or to people that I'm affecting by those behaviors. Here's something that the Lord showed me as I studied this a number of years ago. The root of every sinful behavior is an unfulfilled need. Think about it. I start thinking about something that I feel I need or that I really, really want, right? And my thought process over that, and I, continue to think about it. I continue to think about, well, what's happening? I am actually creating in my mind a structure that's going to lead to a behavior. I'm going to start to carry out what I'm thinking. Okay. This is how the human mind works. We think about something long enough till it results in us actually carrying out what we've been thinking. And so coming to grips with, well, okay, so I've got needs, I've got some wants that I think are legitimate, right? Coming to grips with that, is one of the more, I think, foundational issues that all of us have to deal with so that we can be free to not have to worry about those things, to not have to be constantly dealing with the drama of, unfulfilled needs and feeling, that somehow there's something wrong with me because I have these needs and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just a lot that we struggle with in this area. And when Jesus said, seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, he was basically saying, you can trust Papa, right? That we can trust Papa to do what he promised, which is to provide everything that we really, really need for this life. And the things that we want, he's going to put us through this transformation process so that we're wanting things that are actually in our own best interest because he knows what's best for us and are also in the best interest of the people that we get to serve in some capacity here on this earth. So uh wherever I'm struggling in my life because I'm feeling like there's an unmet need. Well, that's an invitation from the Lord to just come before him and say, okay, this is how I'm feeling. This is my reality right now. I know it's not your reality for me because you've promised. So I'm giving to you again the right to be my source, to be my supply in this area. And I'm just asking you to help me right now. See, we have the ability to make that choice at any given moment. And when we allow for him to be what he wants to be for us, which is the best daddy in the world. He just wants to be that. But if I choose to try to fulfill that need in my own way, well, he's not going to be able to do that. So one of the most powerful questions that we can ask, again, hat tip to Graham Cook. I got this from him many years ago. Papa, what do you want to be for me right now that maybe you couldn't be for me before? Right? What do you want to be for me? Because I need you right now. And I need some stuff in my life, right? We can do that and know that as we approach him from that very childlike stance, say, okay, Papa, I know you love me. I know that you have my best interest at heart. So here's where I am. I'm giving this to you. What do you have for me in exchange? Wow. It is so powerful to just surrender my right, the right that I feel I have to meet my needs, to go after the things that I want in view of or instead of letting him do it. I give that up so that I can let him be for me what he's always wanted to be, which is, again, the awesome Papa that he is. So I hope this is helpful and encouraging for you in terms of the things that perhaps you have been struggling with in your life, and to bring you into a place where you have a much more settled and secure sense of his presence and his provision in your life, because that's what he wants for all of us, is that we would never ever feel that we're lacking in any way. And that's an awesome thing. It's just so good. So let's say good morning to the rest of you crazy breakfast clubbers. Good morning, Patricia and Jason. How are you, mate? Lisa, good morning. Mark, good morning. Kevin, good morning. Sheena, good morning. And Ralph and Rosa, I thank you guys so very much for spending these few minutes with me. And I'll ask you once again if you'd be kind enough to share this video with the folks on your timeline. That way folks hopefully will see, and maybe we'll get a few others to jump in here as we gather weekday mornings, 8:30 Eastern here in the US. Anyway, Jason's over there in Australia, and Ted's in Germany, so our international audience is growing by leaps and bounds. Again, feel free to reach out if you'd like to chat. I'd love to hear from you by email or Facebook message. And thanks again. I look forward to being with you tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern. So till then, you be blessed.
Thank you, Lord, for a beautiful day. Thank you, Lord.